Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of this month's Ascension Energy Forecast in 2016. And in this video, I'm going to tell you some practical tips for managing these energies that we're currently going through. If you missed part 1, just look on my YouTube page. I tell you kind of what to expect with these present energies. But again, this video is going to tell you how to deal with them, because I've been going through these transits, experiencing all these different types of energies for as long as I can remember. And during my journey, I have picked up some pretty basic and practical ways and mindsets and attitudes for making the most out of them, because they're all opportunities. As challenging as they are, you can make the most of them so you don't have to do as many, so you can finish your clearing process faster. I just want you guys to kind of understand what these astrological alignments basically represent for us. They intensify and accelerate your awakening process. So oftentimes, unfortunately, it may seem as if you're running into a lot of trouble, a lot of problems, because it's kind of like an acceleration, again, of the clearing process. So you can go for strings of days where you have multiple issues coming up at once, and it can be incredibly confusing and really just throw you way off your square. And as they come up, you can kind of feel it. You start feeling kind of off, and then you eventually usually get completely taken over, at least for a moment, by your ego self, which again is kind of a multitude of these several surfacing issues all at the same time. And this can cause you to really start feeling a lot of doubt and fear and anxiety and questioning everything, having no idea where you're going, why you're going. Nothing makes sense. It's a really crazy time. But if you start to feel that way, just know that, okay, this is part of it. This is what's supposed to happen, because it's like there's like a process. Again, initially it's not so bad. For a time you're taken over, but then you rise above it and start to pull back and kind of regain a sense of yourself again, and can look and say, oh wow, geez, that's crazy that I used to feel that way. I can't believe it. And then the more distance you get away from it, then you see, wow, you see very clearly that all that attitude, that mindset, that state of being is not you, and it's something you learned. But again, it's a bit of a process, and you can expect this during almost any new moon or full moon or eclipse or whatever. That's what it does, essentially. Now, getting specific with the themes we have going on. The first one that I would expect is going to come up for you guys, as I mentioned in video 1, is relationship healing. You might have some, just different conflicts, not even necessarily with a particular person, but you might find yourself, again, talking to yourself in your head about something they think or they said or they've done in the past. You find yourself ruminating about it. It's just bothering you. Maybe you see a comment on Facebook or Twitter or whatever you guys get into, and it just drives you crazy. And that's part of you're going to go through. I predict, find a way to accept whatever you're ruminating about, and accept that person or whatever for who they are and what they have done, even if they might have affected you in some way, and come to a peace with it. But again, initially, there might be a brief period of struggle, of inner conflict. You might even have an actual argument with somebody. You guys are changing very quickly, and you're going to start affecting people in your world as you continue to raise your vibration. And people who are not on your path are going to start to be triggered by you, and you may or may not have to deal with that in a face-to-face encounter. The best way to go about this is, again, to expect and not worry about any turmoil that may or may not come. I don't even like to say that, because it kind of makes, you might think, oh wow, something's going to happen. It's not like that. I'm just kind of saying that full moons and new moons, they kind of bring things to a head. And again, that may or may not even manifest with you having to even speak to another soul this entire time. I don't know. It just depends on you. But the way to get through these feelings and emotions and energy and situations, the quickest way to go about this is, what I found, is something called self-inquiry. Self-inquiry is just one of the many different Eastern philosophical techniques for achieving enlightenment. And all it really means is kind of like talking to yourself. And if you believe and kind of follow the idea of the law of attraction, you're just putting out there an intention of something you want to know that is not conscious yet, and you just start asking yourself these questions. Like, for example, say someone says something, maybe it's some kind of like hardcore religious comment or something about the election or something, and it just drives you crazy, and on Facebook, and you find yourself thinking about it and worrying about it and like having these like phony arguments in your head about it. So I'd recommend just sit still, take a few deep breaths, and just ask yourself, why? Why is this bothering me? Why do I care what they think? Why can't I allow this opinion to be as it is? And it might be a few minutes, but if you can get yourself into a meditative state, you'll be able to get glimpses of insight. Usually your higher self will send you an image or a word or a phrase or something that will mean something to you, that will slowly kind of you'll start to get these pointers to the source. And oftentimes the source is something very deep, usually from childhood, oftentimes with your parents, and you get to it and it's like, oh my God, it's so like freaking mind-boggling, and so like it's like this massive epiphany. And that's the benefit of these situations that unfold into your life. You can have these epiphanies every time you go through something. You say, oh wow, I didn't like that encounter. I don't like how I'm feeling. Why am I doing it? What's the deal? And you start asking yourself. That's what I always do, man. And I swear, several times a week, I have these wild epiphanies. And it's just this massive energetic load off your body. It's a profoundly... I just discovered how to do it maybe a year ago. If I would have known this 8 years ago, my goodness, I don't know where I'd be today. But it's so powerful and so easy. Okay, secondly, I mentioned that you might be discovering and experiencing symptoms that are indicating to you that your body is not in its ideal shape. Not in a vain physical sense. I mean, not an ideal condition to house your level of vibration now. Your spirit energy is getting crazy right now. And if your body is not like in tune, in alignment, and in a state of optimal health, it's going to cause symptoms. You'll experience these symptoms in a million different ways. But the idea is to take care of your body better in whatever way that resonates with you. Maybe you need to start exercising. Maybe you need to stop eating so much junk food. Maybe you need to start going for walks or whatever. It just could be a million different ways. But I have a great tip for you that'll help you tune into your body and get the messages you need so you can take the appropriate actions. And this is something that people have been doing for thousands of years for just a whole massive list of immense, profound benefits, and it's fasting. And people now even use it for like fitness reasons. That's how I came across it. I discovered it because I'm a fitness trainer, and I'd have my clients do it to burn body fat and to stay nice and lean. But because I've always had this parallel of my own awakening side by side with my fitness pursuits, I discovered that, wow, there's something other than just fat burning benefits to this fasting process. The people in India and whatnot, they were onto something. And I created a blog post that tells you how to do a fast, how to get these benefits. It's a 24-hour fast, which may sound a little bit wild and scary, but it's actually very easy. If I can get my like unhealthy, lazy, personal training clients that I used to train to do this sort of thing, you guys are like a different breed of people. You guys will have no problems and no issues with it. I walk you right through it. It's a link down below. I'm going to leave it right at the top of my description box on this YouTube page, okay? But again, what it's going to do, it's going to allow your spirit energy to flow more unobstructed, because for one, your body is not having to use energy digesting food. The food starts to obviously go away because you haven't eaten anything, and it allows this energy to kind of move through you and heal you. You'll find yourself in a state of incredible mental clarity, spiritual, emotional balance, and well-being. You're going to love it. And from this place, you'll have a much clearer idea of where to go in terms of your body. You'll get insights. You'll just be able to feel it because you're tuning in to your body consciousness. And your body always tells you what's up. It tells you what the deal is very easily when you can tune into it. And fasting is the fastest, easiest, cheapest way to achieve that. Thirdly, I'm going to tell you a little thing about when you are embarking on a new goal or a new chapter or a new intended manifestation. It's initially usually experienced as incredible excitement, incredible clarity. You know now where you want to go. It feels so good. You believe you can get there. And then you're met with a boom. You hit a freaking wall. And that wall is all the stuff inside of you that is going to prevent that. That the conflicting intentions, conflicting vibrational states that are stored within your unconscious body begin to like surface. And as they surface, you start to feel doubt and fear and feel like you can't do it. Things start going wrong. It's no longer so clear and easy. You question, is it even possible? Am I freaking crazy for even having thought I could get there? You get frustrated and pissed off. And that's a passing phase, because all those attitudes that manifest with what I just mentioned, all these like where you start questioning and whatnot, those got to go. They will block you. But they're coming up so you can see, and do that. And that's when you do that self-inquiry process again. You start to say, why am I feeling this way? Why do I feel such doubt? Because all this doubt, all this like any like inkling of hesitation and disbelief and disharmony is not really you. It's not you. It's not truly what you feel or think. It's not. Because your spirit is so freaking confident, so glowing with fucking there's nothing that can stop your spirit. If you're not feeling that way, then it's not you. It's some kind of bullshit thing coming up for you to deal with, for you to discover, and for you to let go of. And that's why you can manifest things quickly, because when you have these powerful intentions and you're on this spiritual unfoldment process, this is what happens. And it seems like things are not working out for you initially. You think that things are going wrong. But again, it's just an opportunity to discover very quickly many, many things that are really standing in your way. And if you don't deal with them, you'll never get there. And that's what these new moons kind of do. They trigger all this up. So you might have a sensing right now that you're going in a new direction, starting a new chapter, a new book, you're happy about it, but at the same time, you might have all this stuff coming up that's making you feel like it's impossible. You're crazy for even thinking it's possible. Let that happen. Don't get off your path. Don't dip in too deeply into disbelief, because it's just an illusion and it will pass. And this new moon will reveal all this to you, why you're feeling this way. And as you let all this go, you'll have a new opening, a new sense of confidence towards your goal. And you know what? There's going to be a full moon 2 weeks from now, and that's going to probably come again with a different set of issues. But as you keep taking advantage of these transits, that's how you manifest your goals very quickly. That's how you awaken and enlighten yourself very, very quickly.